Well, hey, friends, Pastor Aaron here, just with a quick word of encouragement, I hope, today for all that you're walking through in your life. I was looking back through my most recent devotions, time with Jesus, and this one stood out to me as perhaps something that might encourage some of us where we are. Hebrews 5, verse 8, speaking of Jesus, and it says, although he was a son, he learned obedience through what he suffered. And I think about that as such an extraordinary thing to say, that Jesus, being son, being the Son of God, still walked through suffering and difficulty, and part of it was this learning of obedience, learning to walk on the path even when the path is not an easy one. And that was part of his development, that was part of his character as a person, of expressing that, even though he in every way was a son and an heir. And the same is true for us, that we are all sons and daughters of the King, that in Christ we find ourselves in that relationship with God. And yet that doesn't, as you know, eliminate us from walking through hard things. But it's a nice thought to know that we're not alone in that Jesus walked the same way, that Jesus walked through painful things out of obedience, because it was part of walking in the bigger picture that God had for him, that he knew was upon his life. And the same is true for you. You're probably walking through some tough stuff right now. In fact, I don't talk to anybody who isn't walking through something tough. I mean, all of us are walking through kind of the same tough stuff, but then there's all the individual difficulties in the midst of that. And for all of us, even though we are sons and daughters of the King, to be able to say, I'm gonna keep walking close to Jesus regardless of the challenges that I'm facing, of the pain that is in my life. I'm gonna keep pursuing Christ out of obedience, and especially when it's hard, I'm going to say yes to him. And that on the other side of that is this learning what it is to walk in that obedience, saying, whatever you have for me, Jesus, that's all I want. And I won't shrink back from the difficult things, because I understand that through those difficult things, often you're bringing about some of the greatest good of my life. So I hope that's how you would feel today, whatever challenges you might find yourself facing. You're not alone in that. Jesus walked the same way, and that we can be there for each other as well, that we don't have to walk alone in that, in the challenges we face, that all of us together can know what it is to walk in that obedience and encourage each other amidst the challenges, knowing that it ultimately will be for our good. So have an amazing week this week, Cove Church. We look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.